Ben, 1-1 draw against Peterborough, you must have seen that as a very, very good test for you 2 weeks ahead of the season.
Yeah, I think Peterborough, really talented squad, and obviously they went close to the League One promotion last season, almost making the playoff final. Lots of depth, lots of quality there. And it was we knew it was going to be a tough test, but I'm really pleased with how we went about it and approached the game. And I thought we got stronger, and me was certainly a better side in the second half and looked really good. So a lot of pleasing aspects in there, and another step forward for us where we want to go.
Yeah, and in that first period in that second half, we actually looked pretty dominant, and we were really taking the game to Peterborough, putting them under pressure. And it was that pressure that eventually got the penalty in the goal and a couple of other chances just after.
I think there was a couple of things we addressed tactically at half time, but also a mentality shift as well. I thought there were spells in the first half where we gave them too much respect, and we let them have time and space. And once we addressed that a little bit in terms of a little bit of positioning, but also the mentality, that made a difference in the second half. And I was really pleased with the number of chances that we created. We made some great opportunities, and final ball wasn't always there, but to get in those positions at this stage of pre-season, it is a real positive for us.
Yeah, and obviously you kind of almost wholesale kind of changed from Tuesday in the 75 minutes. It must be good that the players are only 15 minutes away now from 90-minute games.
Yeah, it's been a really good week for all the players that have been involved in that this week. It's been a strong week. They've had 2 really good days, because similar to Tuesday, the group that came on today have already trained this morning. So they've had some work this morning. They've come on and done 15 minutes, and they've done a little bit after the game. So we've had 2 really big loading days, and we've also had a lot of other work in the week. So in terms of how we envisaged the week, how we planned it, really good, really pleased with it. Now it's another step on next week.
Yeah, and obviously the sports science side of things comes into it massively at this stage, when you have got to kind of balance how much loading you do give them, and obviously how much they need to look after their bodies and refuel and make sure they're doing everything right.
Yeah, we made a big step up in that. We've brought George Keane in as head of sports science, and we've also invested in 2 consultants that now come in on the sports science and medical side that we feel will give us another edge and help us. And it's so important. If you look at the amount of journeys we've got away from home this season, and even some of the Tuesday night games, we think we've got to put real thought into how we rest, how we recover from those games, because that is going to have a big impact on the season. So the way we work the week and the way we train is from a football point of view. So, the tactical elements of how we're going to play, that dictates how we train and how we work, but also an appreciation of how important the sports science elements are, especially with that recovery.
Yeah, and obviously you just had a game Tuesday, Saturday, like you would during the season, and then all of a sudden you go days, almost a whole week without a game. That must change kind of the dynamic of the week and what you're doing each day.
Absolutely. If you look at the start of the season, it's quite busy at the start, and straight away we've got Cardiff away and we've got Bradford away in that first week, Wednesday, Saturday. So that week's going to be different. We've then got Tuesday the following week. So there's sort of a glut of fixtures at the start. We then get a 3-4 week period where we've got clear training weeks again. So we feel we've had a nice bed of work on the training ground in this period. We're then going to have a run of games where we want to hit the ground running, but then we'll have another period after that where we can get a lot of work done on the training ground. So we've got 2 weeks basically. We've got a clear week where we have a set way of working, and then we have if we've got a midweek game, we have an alternate week. And again, the recovery on both is important. We want to work hard and put all that detail in, but we also know that these players need to rest and recover.
Yeah, and obviously over the course of pre-season so far, you've used 23, 24, 25 players. A lot of them are youngsters that are coming into the squad in an important stage of preparation. Some of them must have really impressed you for you to use them 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, every player that we're using is there on merit. It's an opportunity for them, and I've said from day one, and I will always say, if there's talent and there's good attitude, they will get opportunities. We want young players to come through. We want a pathway here. There's no downsides to it for us. It's a pathway that we want, but they have to be good enough and they have to take their opportunities. So there isn't a charity where, right, you're young, you've come from the academy, you're going to go in the team. No, you've got to earn it, and you've got to prove that you're better than what's in the team, what's in the squad. I still feel we need some external recruitment to strengthen us a little bit more. So I want those young players, the ones we've got now, and also the younger ones underneath that, to give me problems and selection decisions with how well they're doing.